Hello everyone and welcome back to the next lecture of control systems. In this presentation, we are going to discuss solve problem 1 on RH criteria. So let's get started. A system described by the transfer function gs equal to 1 over s cube plus alpha s squared plus ks plus 3 is stable. The constraints on alpha and k are option A, alpha greater than 0 and alpha k less than 3. Option B, alpha greater than 0, alpha k greater than 3. Option C, alpha less than 0 and alpha k greater than 0. And option D, alpha greater than 0 and alpha k less than 0. This problem was asked in GATE EC 2000 given by IIT Kharagpur. So I want you all to pause this video and try this problem on your own. And then after that, we will move on to the solution. I hope you are done. So moving on to the solution. In this problem, we are given a system function, that is the transfer function, gs equal to 1 over s cube plus alpha s squared plus ks plus 3. And we are also given that this system is stable. Based on this fact, we need to find out the constraints on alpha and k. We are given 4 options and we need to select one out of them. So if the transfer function is gs equal to 1 over s cube plus alpha s squared plus ks plus 3, then what will be the characteristic equation? Will it be 1 plus gs equal to 0? No, it will not be 1 plus gs equal to 0. The characteristic equation will be f of s equal to s cube plus alpha s squared plus ks plus 3 equal to 0. That is, if we equate the denominator of this function equal to 0, we will have the characteristic equation. We don't have to perform 1 plus gs equal to 0. And this is because if we are given the open loop transfer function, then only we will use that formula 1 plus gs equal to 0 in order to calculate the characteristic equation. But in this case, it is given that a system is described by the transfer function gs equal to this function. That is, the overall transfer function is given to us. And we know that if we put the denominator of closed loop transfer function equal to 0, we will have the characteristic equation. So this is the closed loop transfer function which is given directly. I hope it is clear to you now. If we are given the open loop transfer function, then we will calculate the characteristic equation by putting 1 plus gshs equal to 0 or 1 plus gs equal to 0. But if the overall transfer function, or we can say the closed loop transfer function, is given to us, we can directly put the denominator of that transfer function equal to 0 in order to have the characteristic equation. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear to you now. This is the characteristic equation of the system, and we are given in the problem that the system is stable. And using this fact, we need to find out the constraints on alpha and k. So firstly, we will draw the Raoult's array for this characteristic equation. So the highest power of s is s cube and the subsequent power is s squared. And what are the coefficients? They are 1, alpha, k and 3. So we can directly fill these coefficients as 1, alpha, k and 3. And rest all the coefficients will become 0 because we are not left with any coefficients in the characteristic equation. Now moving on to the next row, which is the row of s power 1. The first term will be alpha multiplied with k minus 1 multiplied with 3 over alpha. So it will be alpha k minus 3 over alpha. And the next term will be alpha multiplied with 0 minus 1 multiplied with 0 over alpha. If we solve this, we will have this term as 0. Moving on to the last row, we know that the term in the last row is the constant term in the characteristic equation. So it will be equal to 3. So the first term of the last row will be equal to 3. So this is the Raoult's array for this characteristic equation. Now, for the system to be stable, all the coefficients in the first column of Raoult's array must have the same sign. Or we can say all the coefficients must be positive. So alpha should be positive and alpha k minus 3 over alpha should also be positive. So we can say that alpha should be greater than 0 and alpha k minus 3 over alpha should be greater than 0. If we simplify this term, we will have alpha k greater than 3. So from these two inequations, we can say that the constraints on alpha and k are alpha should be greater than 0 and alpha k should be greater than 3. In this way, option B is the correct answer. I hope you are getting the procedure to solve such questions. Whenever we are given the transfer function, firstly we have to obtain the characteristic equation, and then directly we have to form the Routh's array. And then we can apply the Routh stability criteria in order to solve such questions. So in this way, we are done with the conventional method to solve this problem. There is one more shortcut method which is applicable to a third order characteristic equation. And if we apply that shortcut method, we can solve this problem in seconds. So let us now move on to discuss the shortcut method to this. The characteristic equation in this problem is s cube plus alpha s squared plus ks plus 3 equal to 0. We can see that this is a third order characteristic equation, or we can say a cubic characteristic equation. This shortcut method is only valid for a third order characteristic equation. And in this method, we observe the coefficients of all the powers of s. These two coefficients, the coefficient of s squared and the coefficient of s, which are present inside the equation, are called as the internal coefficients. And we will consider the product of these two coefficients, and we will call that product as the internal product. In the same way, we will consider the product of this coefficient and this coefficient. Since these two coefficients are present outside this characteristic equation, we will call the product of these two coefficients as the external product. I hope you are getting this. The internal product is the product of these two coefficients. In this case, it is alpha multiplied with k, and the external product is the product of these two coefficients. In this example, it is 1 multiplied with 3. So what is the internal product? It is alpha k, and the external product is equal to 3. Now already we know the necessary conditions of stability, right? In order to be a stable system, this polynomial must be a Hurwitz polynomial. That is, all the coefficients must have the same sign and none of the coefficient vanishes. So we can see that the coefficient of s cube is equal to 1, which is positive. So alpha should also be positive and k should also be positive, as 3 is also positive. So we can say that alpha and k should be positive. This is the necessary condition for this characteristic equation to be stable. Now let us move on to the shortcut. It says that if the internal product is greater than external product, then we can say that the system is stable. If the internal product, that is the product of these two coefficients, is greater than the external product, that is the product of these two coefficients, then we can declare the system as stable. In the same way, if the internal product is less than external product, then the system will be unstable. In the same way, if the internal product is equal to external product, in that case, the system will be marginally stable. So this is the shortcut method. Now in this problem, we need to find out the constraints on alpha and k such that this system is a stable system. So the first condition is all the coefficients must be positive. So alpha and k should be positive. So we can say for the system to be stable, alpha should be positive and k should also be positive. Moreover, internal product should be greater than external product. What is the internal product? It is equal to alpha k, and the external product is equal to 3. So we can say that alpha k should be greater than 3. Internal product should be greater than external product for the system to be stable. So these are the two conditions for the system to be stable, and we can say these are the constraints on alpha and k, and that's why alpha should be greater than 0 and alpha k should be greater than 3. If we observe the options, we can say option B is the correct answer. So I hope you got this. In the next lecture, we will discuss some more problems based on RH criteria. As of now, we are done with this lecture. Thank you for watching this lecture. I'll end this one here. See you in the next lecture.